Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Bros Hot Takes, where we watch a movie and then tell you about that movie. That's probably the best intro you're ever going to get out of this show. We will never be able to replicate that. I am your movie-watching host, Older Bro.
I'm your other host, Younger Bro.
I don't know. We're never going to get that good of an intro again unless we script it. And we have not scripted it yet.
Yeah, we don't have, like, a script.
We should get a script.
Unfortunately, enough time hasn't passed for us to, script something.
Look, once we start doing this more regularly, then we'll get a script. 2 weeks in a row does not a regular schedule make.
And also, we keep seeming to do Marvel movies.
Yes, well, this is not a Marvel movie.
Well, it's not an MCU movie.
This is... Yes. You're right. This is
it's
a
not
Marvel
a Marvel
movie.
Studios movie.
This is a Sony movie.
Yes. For the people watching, yes, we watched Venom, if the title wasn't clear enough.
If for somehow you have gotten to this part of the video and have not understood that we've watched Venom, how is that possible? You clicked on this video. How did you not know this? But regardless, you are here, and we watched Venom.
Yeah, so we're going to start the part where we don't spoil anything.
Yeah, it's going to be really disgusting in the future, where this series is popular, which means people do just click on the video, not because they even know what the movie is, but simply because it's the next one in the series. It'll just be like, so people might actually get to these videos without knowing what we, watched that week, and that's going to be weird.
Yeah. So, I didn't hate the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, first reactions. I thought it was a fine movie. I enjoyed it.
Do I think it was better than the sequel?
The prequel. The first one.
Yeah, the first movie, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the sequel to the prequel.
Yeah.
Of the start of
the
Venom.
Prequel to the sequel, which is the movie that was number one.
The prequel.
The first one.
The squeakquel, yeah.
No, that's a different thing entirely. That is a franchise that's dead until they brought it back and then it died again.
Now, I want to say plot-wise and stuff like that, yeah, I think of it as a better movie. And
structurally, it's a better movie.
It's not just a movie; it's a love story.
No, I mean the first movie was supposed to be a love story. By the way, guys, for anyone who does not know, I have not seen Venom.
Well, you're kind of watching it.
I have Venom on my screen right now, which I was trying to watch before watching this movie because I've never seen Venom. So I had no knowledge going into this movie what the heck it was about. And I can tell you, you don't need to. If you have not seen the first movie, it does not matter.
Yeah, the first movie, I want to say the only thing you miss out on the first movie is the first reaction of the symbiote to Brock.
Yeah, the only thing you miss is, hey, who Eddie Brock is, who Venom is, and who his girlfriend is. And to some extent, who Butch Cassidy is.
Yes, because Cassidy was in an end credit scene in the first Venom movie. Yeah, that's right, guys. These movies, for whoever doesn't know, do have end credit scenes like the MCU.
Yeah, or more specifically, this franchise considers the MCU canon to itself. The MCU does not consider these movies canon to it.
And we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
Because that's kind of going into spoilers. I liked this movie better than the first movie.
Yeah, I'll say it this way. I enjoyed Eddie and Venom's interactions, which, again, I haven't seen the first one, so I have no idea how good it was in the first one, but they were very good here. They played off each other very well. I enjoyed the girlfriend that is not his girlfriend anymore, and her husband, I guess.
Yeah.
They were great. Carnage was great.
Seeing Carnage on the big screen was awesome.
Yeah. I do have to say I didn't like the fact that Carnage's design was so similar to Venom's, but that's kind of just a problem with all the symbiotes in general. They have a very similar design.
Yeah, all the symbiotes are similar.
Yeah.
I want to say it should have had a little bit more uniqueness besides a red tent.
Yeah, it literally just felt like, hey, it's Venom, but red. It's like
Venom, but red, and he uses stabby weapons more.
And to be fair...
And Venom can do that.
To be fair, that's the same problem happened, I guess, in Spider-Man. In Spider-Man 3, when they did Venom in the Tobey Maguire universe, that kind of had the same problem, where Venom was kind of just, oh, it's just Spider-Man's normal suit, but black. And yeah, it's slimy and gets on him, but it's still just his normal suit. And it is until the end of the movie where it's like, okay, now it's not just his suit. It's kind of the same thing here. Carnage is basically just Venom throughout the entire movie until the very end, when it starts getting a bit more unique. So, yeah, it's like, I wish that it looked more unique throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, apparently, I want to say color for the symbiotes tells you how powerful they are.
Apparently.
Because, yeah, when Venom saw Carnage, he's like, oh shit, a red one.
Yeah.
But...
So were none of the ones in the original red? Because I know there were 4.
There was only one symbiote that I can recall that even had red on it, and that was Scream, which is who is in the movie.
Yeah.
But not as a symbiote, and we'll get to more of that later.
Yeah, so...
I think.
So yeah, in terms of, oh yeah, she was the other character I was going to talk about. Calypso from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Yes.
Very good. Sorry, Scream. Yeah, her name is Scream in this, but it's the same exact actor. Which kind of, for a few minutes I was bothered by that, but it's fine.
Yeah,
she
played
perfectly fine
technically herself in a way, but...
She played herself. When she was talking about drinking from the chalice, and I was like, what, the one Jack Sparrow was after?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I liked the movie.
Yeah.
At least movie. It wasn't necessarily confusing like Eternals.
Yeah,
and everybody agreed on that.
Unlike I looked up the Eternals movie, and it was ranging from like 55% to like 80%. Like literally, the ratings for letter grades were like B, which is like one of the lowest of any Marvel movie.
Literally, how Game Theory guy, literally how he described it is. Everybody who ever watched that movie was confused, but liked it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the problem with it. It still has some of Marvel's charm, but the problem is, I feel like the response to Eternals was the same response people had to Justice League. Of, okay, it's cool that all these characters are here. We don't know who the fuck you are and why we should care about you, but it's cool. Could you give us some more? Could you give us some more like lead up to this?
Yeah,
which they do. They keep flashing back, but it's like,
but they should have just started with from past to the present.
Yeah, I think
that
if they would have made
better.
Eternals linearly, that would have been a better movie. But I also feel like they could have. I feel like they needed a prequel to that movie for it to make sense. But I don't know how they would have done that.
Maybe having a little bit of the Eternals and Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that.
No, again, I don't think that would have worked. I think that I just don't know how they could have done this, a prequel to this, and made it make more sense. It's just they needed something more to it. This movie does not suffer from that. There is no problems of like storytelling in terms of like the characters feel fully developed even if you don't know the previous movie. Like, I did not sit there and was like, I don't understand this guy's motivations. Like, I feel like this was rushed or anything.
The only guy you can say you don't know nothing about in the second movie is the one guy that proposed to love interest or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the Doctor?
Yeah, the Doctor.
Yeah.
Not Doctor Who. He's not in this movie.
No, it's a different movie.
No.
But no.
Speaking of which, Matt Smith is going to be in Morbius, so...
Yeah, I still say if he doesn't say something like, I'm here to save you, I'm a doctor, or something, they will have failed.
Yes. But anyways, so now we'll get into spoiler territory.
Yeah, so spoilers for anyone who doesn't want spoilers. Skip ahead to actually, don't even skip ahead, just leave the video if you don't want spoilers. Also, why are you watching this if you don't want spoilers? Like,
yeah.
Actually...
So how they did Carnage. I Except this version better than the comics.
Yes, see, I don't have any knowledge of Carnage from the comics other than that he exists.
I do. So this is how it happened in the comics. So Eddie Brock, he is a cellmate with Cletus.
Okay.
And Venom comes back for him or something like that. And as he's breaking out as Venom, he leaves a part of himself behind, and that was Carnage, and it bonded with Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
So, in this version...
In this one, it just is like, no, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, in this version, Cletus Cassidy bites Brock, and that's how it gets in his system.
Yeah, it's like he literally bites Eddie Brock. Eddie Brock has no blood, basically, because all he has is Venom.
Yeah.
And so he just gets Venom in his mouth, and it's just like, oh, well, I guess I have Venom in me now.
Yeah, because in the comics, it got in his bloodstream, but not how it did in the movie.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, it's not really explained how it got in his bloodstream really well. Yeah. I think it was like through a cut in his arm or something like that. And it was so generic that I guess the movie people were like, no, let's change that.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Let's see. He's playing an insane man. Well, he bites Eddie and he consumes Venom.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking great.
Makes sense. This guy is literally insane. Let's make him do something insane.
Now let's go back to talking about Scream. I don't know much about Scream other than she is like one of the top 5, maybe 10 symbiotes that's mostly well known. Yeah. In this, she is
not a symbiote at all.
No, and I kinda don't like that.
Yeah.
So...
here's the problem. I think it makes sense she's not a symbiote in this universe. In the universe we have developed, we have like 4 symbiotes, and I have no idea what's happened to the other 3.
In Carnage, Scream is just Black Canary.
Black Canary. She's Black Squared Canary.
So...
but yeah.
In the comics, I don't know if she had anything to do with Cletus Cassidy at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm pretty sure she was just put in a lab along with some other guy, and they kind of had like a brother-sister relationship in a way.
Yeah.
And they were tested on with symbiote, and eventually they found symbiotes that could bond with them.
Yeah.
And they broke out.
Although I do have to say this. I like the fact that the Sony Cinematic Universe has introduced mutants before the Marvel Cinematic Universe now, because I guess Scream is a mutant. Because that's the only way you can explain her without her being a symbiote.
There's the thing. I'm not entirely sure, but from what the little I know about Scream, she doesn't get the Scream until she is venomized.
Yeah, where in this one, she's just had it since birth, before the symbiotes even existed, at least on Earth. So, yeah, at this point, she is a mutant.
So
they have mutant her.
I want to say, if Venom has a 3rd movie in his universe, they're going to fight Scream, and this time she's going to be symbiotic. That's probably the 3rd movie. But yeah, speaking of universe, so this is where we get into really big territory, because there was an end credit scene.
Yes, there was an end credit scene.
And Venom got put in the MCU.
No, the MCU got put into Venom, is a more accurate statement. Because again, Marvel does not consider Venom and the Sony Cinematic Universe to be part of the MCU. But the Sony Cinematic Universe considers Marvel canon to itself. So, as part of the new arrangement, Sony added the Cinematic Universe to itself by literally including scenes from the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
But as of current, Marvel still does not consider Venom to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This may change in Spider-Man 3. It has not changed yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk to you about. Yeah. So, I want to say... Okay, so the little I've seen of the trailer, I think Venom is going to be the end credit scene in Spider-Man. I think that's going to lead to Spider-Man 4. I don't really think Venom's going to help out too much in the upcoming Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Venom being... Here's what... Okay, so a little bit from the trailer, the second Far From Home trailer, I'm just going to say a phrase that Doctor Strange said. We have opened up every universe. So, what that's saying is, we can see, that's probably leading up to Multiverse of Madness. We can probably see the one Punisher movie, or Ben Affleck as Daredevil, in Multiverse of Madness. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if if Venom is actually there to stay in the MCU, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to somehow get back to his universe and then we're going to get MCU Venom? Or do you think Tom Hardy is going to be our MCU Venom?
I actually have no idea on this. That's the thing. I don't know how they're going to handle... Marvel is currently in a bit of a... Marvel and Disney are kind of in the middle of a crossroads, because they have Deadpool on one side. That is their property that they now can integrate into the MCU,
with
or not.
Multiverse of Madness.
So, on one hand, yeah, Multiverse of Madness could just bring Deadpool in. But again, I don't think that the Deadpool in the Deadpool movies really fits the tone of the MCU. And Disney kind of has to deal with what the hell they're going to do with it.
I understand that, but I just imagine how they could bring that Deadpool in. Like, he comes through a portal or something, like he's flung through a portal.
Yeah.
And he gets up and he cusses and he gets bleeped. He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's the here's the problem. I agree with you, that would be funny. The first time. It would not be funny sequentially. That's the problem with that joke. And that's why Disney's going to have a huge problem trying to bring them in.
Like, I wish Disney would just let Deadpool be Deadpool that everybody loves and just deal with the not R. Just deal with the R rating.
They can't. Because that would... The MCU is a franchise that they want everyone to see. And as soon as they put R rating, no kid is allowed to watch it. And that will mean most families don't go see it.
But I mean, in Eternals, they almost had a sex scene.
Doesn't matter. It wasn't R rated. It was still only PG-13. Doesn't matter. That's the problem. I think, and what I think Disney should do, is I think Disney should give up on should not integrate the Deadpool portion of the cinematic universe into the main cinematic universe. I think they should integrate it into the Sony cinematic universe. I think they should just make that the R-rated cinematic universe, and they make theirs the PG-13 cinematic universe, and they can share actors across, but that each is independent of the other. Because Deadpool would fit a lot better alongside Venom than he would alongside the MCU. They will not do that, but I also don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, so I think Venom in the MCU is a whole part of that, what happened with Far From Home. I'm pretty sure that was the new deal.
Yes. It absolutely... no, not exactly. The whole deal with the Far From Home is that Disney wanted more money out of the deal, and so the deal was changed to that Disney can help fund the movie, and they get a percentage of the revenue on the movie based on how much they fund. That's pretty much the whole thing. And that the MCU gets to continue keeping the actor. Because again, remember, Tom Holland is Sony. It is not Marvel. Because Spider-Man is the property of Sony, not Disney. So the actor for Spider-Man is a Sony-owned actor, basically.
Yeah.
So, it's a really weird legal thing, and, yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, again, I think the best solution is that Deadpool is in the Venom universe, and that's the rated R universe, and the rated PG-13 universe doesn't have that Deadpool.
Now,
I didn't say that. I said Venom, didn't I? Whatever, doesn't matter. Point is, I think that they should share actors, but I don't think that the representation should be the same. I think they should be in their own separate universes.
Now,
but clearly I don't know what they're doing. I don't think they know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, now, I firmly believe that I'm sure that they can make Deadpool work in some form of way.
I don't. It's not that I don't think they can. I don't think people are going to like it. Because what Fox proved was that people wanted a rated R Deadpool. And Disney is not going to provide that. They will provide the same actor. And they will provide funny jokes. But it will not be rated R. And so that will be the test.
The thing I foresee is Deadpool is not going to have a lot of screen time anymore. Yeah. I want to say it will be the same Deadpool, but the camera won't be focused on him.
And that's kind of the problem. Is the camera demands to focus on Deadpool. It's Deadpool. So I think that if they introduce him, the fans are going to get pissed off because they are not going to portray him the way he was portrayed in his own movies. And they will not like that. Because that's their expectation. That's what they want. And Disney isn't going to provide what they want.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's what I like about Venom potentially being in the MCU here. Because Venom bonded with, I'm pretty sure, 2 people before Eddie Brock, but it looks like it might be switched now.
Yeah.
He bonded with, so this time it's going to be Eddie Brock, then Spider-Man, but then maybe Deadpool at some point.
I don't even think they'll even go that route. I think that there's no need to. As long as Eddie Brock is alive, I don't imagine Venom's going to.
Well, I'm just saying, like, jumping between hosts. Like, he could do that. But yeah, in the comics, he bonds with Deadpool first, then Spider-Man, then finally Eddie Brock.
Yeah, and the reason they do it in that order is because Deadpool
is crazy.
Is insane, but doesn't really fit him genetically. Spider-Man fits him more genetically, but isn't insane, and Eddie Brock is kind of both. So that's why they go in that order of, like, there are people that better fit him, but doesn't fit Venom.
Yeah,
so but I don't think that once he's found his perfect host, he's going to try to change to somebody else. Like, yeah, he got pissed off in this movie and, went to other people, but at the end of the day, he's fully aware that they're not Eddie.
But anyways, so what I think's gonna happen is Venom is not gonna be in... Okay, he's not gonna be like a main plot in Far From Home.
I don't think that Venom is going... If Venom features at all, I think he will be a cameo. I don't think he's gonna be, like, a main character.
Yeah, that's why I say he's gonna be maybe like an end credits kind of thing.
Yeah, he might show up in credits, but again, I don't think that Marvel is going to integrate the Sony Cinematic Universe, because I don't think they want to. They want to own the Sony Cinematic Universe. They don't want to put Sony characters in their movies that they can't guarantee will always be in those movies.
But yeah, I think it'll just lead up to the 4th Spider-Man movie, where it's going to be Spider-Man versus Venom, or Spider-Man-Venom team up, and they're fighting something. I
don't know.
It can't be the Sinister Six, because they're kind of
doing that.
They're kind of doing... Not only are they doing Spider-Verse in No Way Home, they're also doing the multiverse Sinister Six.
Well, to be fair, I think that's more of a big deal. I think Marvel wants to do the Sinister Six, but they don't have the characters to do it.
They just did. So they went
went
Spider-Verse.
That was their result. I don't think they're doing Spider-Verse to do Spider-Verse. I think they're just doing Spider-Verse because that's the only conceivable way they could do the Sinister Six without waiting 6 movies. Because even Marvel knows that Spider-Man does not have a good track record of getting to a 4th movie. So they want to make sure that they can get Sinister Six in before the 6th movie. Because naturally, that's when you do it. It's literally in the fucking title, Sinister Six. So obviously, it should be the 6th movie.
I want to say this is going to be the multiverse Sinister Six coming up. And the actual Sinister Six, I think it's going to be like Hydra Man, maybe some of the Thunderbolts, I don't know, the Wizard, Thundra. Those characters, and maybe Mysterio.
No, I think they're just gonna stick with this. I don't think there's gonna be. It's very possible they'll just get locked here. That they literally just adopt the other series villains
characters, and
so they just become the permanent Sinister Six.
Yeah, which would if those characters become the permanent Sinister Six, I would consider all those other Spider-Man movies canon to the MCU, even Andrew Garfield's one.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's Disney's playing an interesting gambit because they're not making those movies canon, technically. Because what they're doing is they're just saying, yeah, those are alternate universes that happened, but they're not in our canon. And I think it's not exactly what they're doing with Venom, but it's kind of a similar thing. It's like, that's happening over there, it has nothing to do with us. This is happening in another universe. It has nothing to do with us. This is Earth 616, or whatever.
Yeah, and Venom is from Earth 612 or something like that.
No, well, that's the thing. I think with Venom, it's even more direct. And this might also be the case with Deadpool. Venom is from this Earth. Earth's, again, I do not remember what the actual number is for the MCU.
616.
Oh, I thought that was just a famous one. I didn't think that was actually Earth 616. Okay. Yeah. So Venom is from Earth 616. He's just not involved in the MCU stuff. He's just off somewhere on a random island that still exists in this universe, but is not part of the MCU. But Andrew Garfield's from Earth 612, and Tobey Maguire's from Earth 432, and Spider-Gwen, if and when she appears, is from Earth 389 or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is they're not from this Earth. But Venom is.
Yeah.
This movie and its end credits prove they're in the same Earth as the MCU. And we will see from Spider-Man 3 and future iterations how much they are in this
Funny
universe.
enough, yeah, so if this...
we've done a lot of not talking about this movie.
I know, but we're talking
vaguely about it.
But I'm just saying, for future stuff, just this. So we have the Sinister Six.
Yep.
And if Venom's not going to be a main point, I want to say in the 4th Spider-Man movie is actual live action Spider-Verse. Because we'll have Spider-Man, Venom. After Multiverse of Madness, we could get introduced to Miles Morales if the main villain in Multiverse of Madness is Dormammu.
I don't think they're going to bring Dormammu back.
I
I think he might vaguely exist in the movie, but I don't think he's going to be the villain, because they've already fought. It wouldn't make sense for Marvel to go back that
But
way.
Dormammu could get involved with the multiverse shit to try to get to Earth.
Yeah, I think he might get involved, but I don't think he's going to be the villain.
But here's why. Because some bullshit happens where Dormammu opens off the multiverse, and that's how Miles Morales gets in our Universe 616.
Yeah, I have absolutely no doubt that absolutely no doubt they'll bring Miles Morales in. There's no arguments. It make perfect sense.
So,
we don't have anyone lined up from in Spider-Man movies that are in the MCU canonically from 1 and 2. We don't have anyone lined up for Miles Morales yet, do we? No 616
in
actor.
a deleted cutscene, they were going to mention Miles. But we do have a character who is related to Miles, and that's the Prowler. He was in the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but yeah, we don't... Because Miles Morales is canonically, 8 or something right now. He is
Miles Morales is how old our current Peter Parker is. No. He's high school, college
But what
level.
I'm saying is that canonically, Miles Morales does not, in pretty much every single iteration, he doesn't show up until Peter Parker's, in his 30s. So, when we meet Miles Morales, he is current Peter Parker's age, but
that's
right
how...
now, he probably hasn't even been... He's been born, but he's, maybe 8.
But that's how they could introduce Miles Morales coming from his universe to ours.
Yeah, he'll be the same age
as our Spider-Man.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying.
And that'd be the first time, and I think that's how the MCU is going to do it.
Yeah, I think that's how they're going to do it. I just wanted to make sure they weren't going to try to retcon the age problem entirely and just say, no, Miles Morales is going to be one of the students at his school, and he's the same age as him. Or at least vaguely the same age as him.
I want to say that'll be the case in a different universe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because they could always just do that. They could just have random kids become Miles Morales.
I think actual Spider-Verse will be the 4th movie, and Venom, our current Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire, those are going to be the 4 main people in the 4th movie.
Yeah.
Or they could do it in Multiverse of Madness. I don't know how they're doing it.
Again, we haven't seen... Again, we'll wait on that till No Way Home, because there is still a lot of speculation about what's going to happen in No Way Home. And there is, we obviously know some of the villains are showing up, because...
Yeah, because we know the actors.
Yeah, and as everyone has basically said, hey, it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to bring in all these villains and not bring in the other Spider-Man in this movie.
Again, so, I want to say this is how it's going to happen. So Venom is probably going to be the last end credits. I want to say Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be the first.
Yeah, I think that Disney is tight-lipping this, and they're going to be main characters in this movie. I think that it's going to be all 3 of them.
You think it's going to be all 3?
I think that this movie is Spider-Verse. Well, it's not Spider-Verse, but it's pre-Spider-Verse.
It's... like I said, I'll just call it the multiverse.
It's going to be Multiverse Sinister 6 with 3 Spider-Men in it. And next movie
will be 6 Spider-Man.
Will probably be Multiverse of Madness Spider-Man or Spider-Verse. We're going to get Spider-Gwen. We'll get Miles Morales.
And please, Madam Web, because Madam Web is usually the center of the Spider-Verse in the comics.
Makes sense. So yeah. But let's try to get back to the movie. Is there anything else about the actual movie we watched that has nothing to do with the MCU?
Going back to talking about Scream, I liked this actor, but I just didn't...
Yeah, I
wanted to see the symbiotic Scream in the movie, and the fact that I didn't get that, I thought it was a missed opportunity. Or they're trying to set up for the 3rd Venom movie.
But see, that's the thing. I don't think they can do that. I mean, they could make her a symbiote, but it's at this point, it is impossible for her Scream powers to be from the symbiote. They're just something she has now, which means she's a mutant. We have a mutant in the MCU right now, canonically. Because again, who the fuck knows if Quicksilver was actually a mutant or not? He's fucking dead.
Yeah, or Scarlet Witch.
Well, Scarlet Witch is not a mutant anymore because the MCU... The Marvel, the actual brand, has retconned that.
But yeah, we'll just see what happens. But yeah, anything else about the movie? I guess I loved Venom's reaction to what the hell went on. He literally said, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah. But no.
All the symbiote is just as great.
Yeah.
In the
I liked
the relationship.
I liked the relationship. The whole movie was basically Venom trying to get Eddie back with the girl that did not...
Yeah, love triangle kind of shit.
Well, here's the weird thing about the love triangle. It's not a love triangle. Eddie Brock is like, hey, I still love you, and you clearly want nothing to do with me. And she's like, I still want to be with you, but you are absolutely not good for me, and I cannot do that. it's not even to say it's a love triangle is inaccurate because both the characters want to be with each other. It's just that one of them wants Eddie to calm the fuck down, and with Venom, that's impossible, and with Eddie himself, that's impossible.
Yeah, so...
Like, Eddie is already at 10 in insanity, and then you put Venom on top of him, and now he's suddenly at 25 out of 10 in terms of insanity. He cannot calm down.
Yeah, the other thing I think they could do for the third Venom movie, if it's not Scream, it should be Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom is probably the third most well-known symbiote.
Well, yeah, to actually get back to the movie. So they go through the plot of the movie, blah, blah, blah. Scream is Carnage's girlfriend, or I guess Cassidy's girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah, which I don't think was true in the comics.
Yeah, but who cares? But the final end credits, they brought this police officer with them who apparently was the one who shot Scream, which that actually was a surprise to me when they brought that up.
Yeah.
They didn't bring it up at the end. They brought it up like a third of the way through the movie and was like, oh, that actually is kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, Detective Mulligan is actually a well-known character. I recognize the name, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mulligan is literally a name for retconning something. He might as well have been called Sergeant Retcon. Although, I like the fact that he's secret, like, it'd be hilarious if he's basically another...
I forgot! So, Detective Mulligan in the comics eventually turns to be Toxin, which is one of the top 10 most well-known symbiotes.
Yeah, which is one of the other, well, I guess it wasn't in credits, one of the other scenes in this movie where literally he clearly somehow also has a symbiote in him from who the fuck knows where.
I want to say maybe...
Because how the fuck do these symbiotes reproduce?
Asexually. Not a joke.
I know that, but like, literally it's just like in this one, Cassidy bites Venom, and the bit of Venom that got in him mixed with him and became a different symbiote. But how the fuck did Mulligan get any of Venom or Carnage in him?
I think he just got the mutant power from from Scream. Like, Scream...
Wait, so you're thinking that he now has Scream's powers?
In a way. Because Toxin, I think, is the other symbiote that was imprisoned with Scream in the comics.
Yeah. Because, like, I was looking into it a little bit, because there's only 4 symbiotes in the actual first movie, right? They say there are 4. So that's the only part of the movie I've seen so far, is him saying, we had 4 samples, 1 escaped. In the comics, there's 5 samples.
Here's what gets me ticked off, because in the first movie, they had a yellow symbiote.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was going to lead to Scream. It didn't.
Well, that's what I was going to say. In the actual comics, there's 5 symbiotes in that lab. There are 5 sample tests. So they cut one of them. So I'm guessing Scream was the one they cut.
No. They had the 5. Riot was the 5th.
Right, but what I'm saying is, according to the... Okay, whatever.
Like, according to the main guy, they had 4, but then they have 5 when Riot arrived.
Gotcha. Okay, so I haven't gotten that far yet, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm literally watching the movie now.
Yeah, you'll see.
Anyways, so yeah. So there are 5. So yeah, Scream is supposed to be one of them. But again, we know she had these powers since she was young.
Yeah, so it's not Venom.
Impossible. It's not impossible that she is a symbiote, but it is impossible that this Scream, if she is a symbiote in this movie, and just not telling anyone, and I have no idea how that'd be possible since she literally has a power to nullify symbiotes and doesn't hurt herself throughout this whole movie. If she was somehow secretly a symbiote, it is impossible that those powers come from that symbiote.
Scream is supposed to be a more powerful symbiote than Carnage and Venom combined.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure Scream is from Carnage in the comics. I think that was the symbiote they were testing with the two subjects, Toxic and Scream.
Yeah.
I think that was a bit of Carnage. And Scream is probably one of the most powerful because Scream is not, Scream has basically little to no weaknesses.
Yeah, given the fact that she literally creates sound, which is normally a weakness. So, unless you can set her on fire somehow, you're fucked.
Yeah, so this leading up to the
other
MCU
thing, the other thing I was going to say was they had, as part of the end of the video, is that Calypso literally falls and then a bell falls on her. And we have actually no idea if she died. Because the bell fell on her, like, perfectly, where she could just be under the bell, screaming, and we wouldn't be able to hear her. So it's like, we actually don't know, based on the movie, if she's dead.
I don't think she's dead.
Yeah.
I think she's going to be the third movie villain. Same with Toxin.
Yeah.
Toxin is gonna... Here's the thing about Toxin. Toxin is similar to Anti-Venom. Toxin can literally melt other symbiotes. And
so she's a TX.
Yeah, and Anti-Venom absorbs and destroys them.
Basically the same.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing Toxin and
but
maybe a better iteration of Scream.
Yeah. Well, more accurately, at this point, what it sounds like is that somehow she got infected by Carnage, and somehow he got infected by Carnage. And so, now, everyone's the child of Carnage, because fuck Carnage.
I guess.
I swear, if they show up and say, damn it, grandfather, we're here to kill you, to Venom, I'm just gonna quit.
So what do you think they're going to do with Morbius? Morbius is absolutely in the Venom universe. Do you think he'll also dimension hop?
No, I don't think he's gonna be involved.
Because here's the thing, they have the Vulture in Morbius.
They do have the... Here's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Their universe is all canon to itself, and the MCU is all canon to itself. What we do not currently know is how canon... Okay, we know that the Sony Cinematic Universe is canon to itself, and we know that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is 100% canon to Sony. They consider every movie Marvel makes canon, and they build their entire universe off of Marvel's universe. The question is, how much does that work the other way around? We know the Marvel Cinematic Universe is canon to itself, but how much of the Sony Cinematic Universe is canon to Marvel? The amount they've said so far is 0. None of it is canon.
Until Venom 2.
We will see. Well, no. Again, because what happens in Venom 2 is just them saying, hey, so Marvel gave us the rights to put some of their movies in our movies. That doesn't change Marvel's stance. Marvel still considers the Sony Cinematic Universe non-canon. But they're willing to say, yeah, sure, you can consider our movies canon to you, whatever. We don't fucking care. Here, have some clips. Sure. But so far, we have not seen anything from the Sony Cinematic Universe appear in a Marvel movie. So until that happens, the Sony Cinematic Universe is 0% canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Again, we'll find out next month in Far From Home.
Yeah, we'll find out in Far From Home. We'll find out in Multiverse of Madness. We'll find out if anything happens.
Yeah,
sorry, guys, that we didn't talk much about the actual movie in this movie.
The end credit scene was what I needed to show older bro, because even if I told him, he probably wouldn't have believed it.
No, I just straight wouldn't have.
So,
yeah, we're just gonna show the fucking blip in Venom. I don't believe you. I barely believe that J. Jonah Jameson was there, which I don't think they credited. At least I didn't see it. I don't think they credited the actual Marvel scene in that movie.
No, that was a completely new scene.
Yeah. Well, no, that was in. Well, vaguely that was in. That was the scene at the end of Spider-Man 2 that was why because that was the scene that showed off.
The scene that was in the MCU at the end of Far From Home was J. Jonah Jameson showing a clip of Mysterio. That is not the clip that we saw in
Point is, it's the
Venom.
It's not. It may not be the exact same scene, but in that scene, he says that it's Peter Parker. So it's an iteration of that scene, basically. It's a custom scene for that movie, but it's basically the scene we'd already seen. So.
Yeah. So
but
going forward,
I didn't see him get credited. We didn't stay to the end of the movie, guys. So it's possible there was a final end scene. But we couldn't find any credits.
We looked
couldn't
it up.
find any evidence for it.
So.
But we're pretty sure there wasn't.
Yeah. So if Venom is now officially in the MCU, I guess we'll possibly see in Far From Home. No Way Home.
I think that the situation has not changed. That Sony is not canon to Marvel. Marvel is canon to Sony. So until they appear in a Marvel movie, it ain't canon. And even if, and here's the thing, because here's the critical thing. Even if Vulture and such appear in Far From Home, that is insufficient. Because remember, Vulture's from the Andrew Garfield movies. Just like,
no.
Well, no. You know what I mean. Like, even if stuff from the Andrew Garfield movies appeared in the MCU movie, that is not sufficient to say that Venom is. Unless Venom or a character from Venom appears. We have no idea. Or I guess Morbius, if Morbius appears. But that movie is going to come out before Morbius. I doubt they're going to have Morbius in the...
Yeah, Morbius comes after No Way Home.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I doubt they're going to put that in. But you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm not certain on this. Is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man canon to Venom?
No.
Because, like...
No, yeah. Venom was the next start of their Spider-Man stuff. Yeah. And then Marvel Studios approached them saying, hey, we'd like to discuss Spider-Man with you. Okay, we'll put him in Civil War. Yeah. So it's like, because I think that's the thing. I think that if Marvel hadn't done that, we'd still have Andrew Garfield in the Venom series. Probably.
I think he'd be their canon Spider-Man.
But no, they have said multiple times that they would have had Tom Holland be the Spider-Man in the Venom universe.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Right now, there isn't going to really be a Spider-Man in the Venom universe, even though the end credit scene has Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But so far, that's going to be the core... Yeah, those are going to be the core questions. Are we going to see a Venom movie where Spider-Man shows up? And are we going to see a Spider-Man movie where Venom shows up? Those two questions dictate the whole point.
Again, we have No Way Home coming up, so
yep, and that's going to be one of our big ones. So
that's going to be the page
turner. See. Anyways, guys, I think we're done talking about the movie we're not actually talking about. It was a good movie, and you should go watch it.
If you liked Marvel, and if you want hopes to ties of the MCU,
yeah. But no, it was a good movie. I liked it. Butch Cassidy was really good. Honestly, the detective storyline bits were really good.
Yeah, I liked the detective too.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see with the MCU. This movie was good. Go watch it. Anyways, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that's really big to go over. Those were kind of the big things that we... Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, we will see you guys next time with a new hot take whenever we do it next.
You know when it's going to be.
It may be before Far From Home. Otherwise, it'll be Far From Home.
Jurassic World would have to come out before Far From Home.
So yeah. Anyways, see you on the next hot take.
Goodbye.